In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create a stunning professional Kajabi course step by step for free. Let's dive right into the tutorial. P.S. If you're looking for a way to follow along with this step-by-step tutorial right now, you can go ahead and use my Kajabi exclusive link for 30 days free instead of Kajabi's regular 14-day free trial. So you can dive in, create your course without any risk. Okay, let's get to the tutorial. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to show you how I created this course here, Price Like You Mean It, 5 Steps to Charge Your Worth. And I'm going to show you how I did the design, uploaded the content, and everything that you need to know in between in order to launch your course quickly. So let's go ahead and go back to the interface inside of Kajabi. You want to log into your account. You're going to go to products on the left-hand menu and go to courses. And then the first thing you're going to do is click on new course. Great. The first page here is course details. And the first action that you need to do is come up with your course title. Make sure your course title is really strong. For example, I could have just said how to price your course or how to price your program. Instead, I want to make sure that people understand that we're overcoming whatever fear they have around pricing so they can price like they mean it. The transformation is in the title. So use our friend ChatGPT or any other AI tool to help you come up with a strong transition-focused title for your course. So we can add the title right here. Next, we're going to use some more AI magic within Kajabi. And to make sure that AI is on point, we want to come up with a really great description of the course so the AI knows where to go with it. And so we're going to address 3 things in this description. The first thing is who is it for? Next is what's the transformation this course is going to make in someone's life? And the final component is what's the outcome? They have this transformation, so how is their life different now? If you can answer those 3 questions in the description, you're giving AI everything it needs to know to go forth and create a lot of the course for you. So this is the description that I came up with. Answering those 3 questions, I'm going to use the bottom right corner here with a couple lines, hover over it, and you will see the arrows that allow you to expand the window, making sure that I am answering all 3 of those major questions. Who is this for? Industry experts. And what are they going to learn? What's the transformation? They're going to be able to leverage their own expertise level in order to calculate accurate pricing. And then the final thing is, what is this going to eliminate in their life or give more of in their life? So it doesn't always have to be like what they're going to get more of. It can also be the pain that's going to be taken away or a bad feeling that they are stuck on. We're going to be able to remove that through this course transformation. So as long as I give AI these 3 answers, it's going to do a great job generating the content. So make sure that this is toggled on and let's see this magic happen. Okay, so next it's going to ask for our colors. And so I want to point you to one of my favorite tools for coming up with branding colors. Now, if you already have your branding colors, feel free to add in those colors, but I like to create some colors specifically for a course that go along with my overall branding. So I like to use a tool called Coolers, where it allows you to generate color palettes with colors that go together. So this is the color palette that I generated that I said, hey, I really like these colors. And how I did it is you can lock and unlock colors, and you can hit the space bar to get another color that would go along with the others. So you're generating a palette that you really like. So as soon as you like one, I can go back to this one, then you can lock it and it won't change that one again. So you can continue to lock each color when you find the one that you like, and then you'll create 5 that you can use in your course. Now you don't have to use all 5, but it's just an option. This number here, this is the number that we tell Kajabi, and it can pull the exact color shade from this number. So once we have our colors chosen, you can select the box here and either choose one of your brand colors or go to this color wheel and paste in that color that we had before. So I'm going to select this main color here, and then an accent color that I pulled from the palette is going to be this lighter shade here. So I'm just going to copy that hex code. We're going to go to the color wheel here. We're going to paste the text code. And then I have my 2 main colors for this course that goes along with my overall branding. Next, we're going to create a course thumbnail. We can do this in a tool called Canva really easily. First thing I want to point out is the dimension size. So 1280 by 720. We can create this dimension in Canva, so we give the exact image that it wants in this space here. So if you go to Canva, I've already created my thumbnails here, but I want to show you how to do it from scratch. So if I were to go create a design in Canva, instead of choosing one of these templated sizes, I'm going to click on custom size, and then I'm going to type in the 1280 by 720. Okay, and that is the one that Kajabi wants to display for any thumbnail. So this is the course thumbnail. And then here, of course, you can change the background color to one that aligns with your brand and go forth with text as well. So I went ahead and created these already so we can speed up this process, and you can see it in action here. So this first slide here is going to be my course thumbnail. I'm going to download just this page by using the share button, going to download, going to pages, and then going to current page and download. Go ahead, just hit that download button. All right, so it has downloaded. It's in my downloads in my Chrome browser. So now I can go back here. I can choose a thumbnail and do new file, and I can grab that download that just came to my downloads, drag it in the box here, say yes, save it, and upload. Okay, and we're ready to move to the next step. Okay, so now we can set up some pricing around this course. So first, it can be a free course. So if it's something like a lead magnet, then you can leave it as free. If you want to make it paid, select this option. And now you get to select the payment frequency or payment plan. There's a couple options here. You can do a one-time payment, a multi-pay, which means it can weekly or monthly or yearly payments. Subscription, so like a never-ending subscription that can have a similar cadence to quarterly or yearly, or a one-time payment. For this course that I'm creating here, I'm going to select a one-time payment, and I'm going to put in the price here. One thing I suggest for you is to look around and see how are being priced that has a similar topic or providing a similar transformation to your avatar. That's going to give you an idea around price range, but just know, like I teach in this course, that identify your expertise and your level of experience, and know that if you're able to provide results and transformations, do not underprice yourself. Okay, let's move on here. So going down to the payment method, I'm always going to suggest to use Kajabi Payments just for the fact that it gives you an option to turn on Apple Pay, Google Pay, which makes it very easy, kind of one-click buying for your client. They don't have to go and get their credit card. You can also turn on Afterpay or Klarna, which are both third-party digital kind of layaway options. So if it's a larger price course, then they can do smaller installments, but you are still getting paid up front. All right, so I'm going to click next and we're going to move on. So now we can see that the creation wizard is doing its magic and creating an outline for us as well as some other assets. So I want to show you here, we're officially in the back end of the course creation, and we can see a couple tabs at the top. The first one is going to be the course outline. The next is customize. So that's how your client or customer is going to see the course. We'll work on that in just a moment. You can also see an offer. Offers are connected to the checkout page. So it has already created an offer for you and a checkout page that you'll have to design. You can see the customers who are currently in this course. You can provide certificates if you want to do that in your course. And you also have settings for this course. Let's click on settings and dive in. So in settings, you can address the title. So if you want to change it, this would be the place. You can also change up the description. Something that I like to do for the description, because you're going to see the description on the course homepage as well as like in your course store, I like to shorten it up. So for this one, I will just make it maybe one sentence from the larger description, the more detailed description that we gave for AI. All right, so we're going to move on here. This is where we have our course thumbnail. So if you want to change that, this is the place. You can also turn on live rooms. So if you're unaware, Kajabi provides a space and a tool for you to have live coaching calls that you can have in Kajabi live rooms. So if you turn this on, you can set the cadence. And then you can also turn on the community. You can also enable or disable the comments. So if it's a course that is completely self-paced and you won't be answering questions there, then you can turn comments off. I'll hit save and we'll move on. Okay, let's go back to the outline and see what AI has created for us. Now, understanding that if you are creating a course, you know this topic because people have probably been asking you this question, and you're going to create a course instead of repeating yourself over and over again. So you might already have an outline in mind, but I still love using AI for the naming feature. So it might come up with some great catchy names that identify with the topic or the concept that I'll be teaching in that lesson, but has a better name than I would have come up with on my own. So here is your course outline. You can see the folder icon here. The folder icons are your modules. Think about those as organized folders of content or lessons. So a folder here, this is a module, and these are the lessons inside. You can see on the right-hand side, we have a arrow. I call this a caret. So we can close the caret or open the caret, right? Expand or what is it called? Collapse. So we can collapse it here and we can see the AI has given us 4 modules, I think with 3 lessons each. So we can go through each of these, and if you want to change any of them, you absolutely can. Let's go to this first module and dive right in. Let's say we want to change the name of this first module. We can click on the edit icon here and change the name and also upload an image. So that's how we can change the details of the module itself. Now inside the module, we have these 3 lessons. I'm going to also point out this plus content button where you can add a sub module. So if it's a very complex module with multiple lessons, you can use a sub module to package up and organize those multiple lessons in one module using sub modules. So think about those as sub folders. You can add a lesson, which I'm going to show you the features that you can add in a lesson. You can add a quiz or assessment. You can also import from another course. So no need to do a work that you've already done twice. You can just import it. Let's dive into a lesson. Okay, now inside a lesson, you can see that AI has already created a lot of text for me that you can change, we can change at any point. Notice the title is here, the name of the module that this lesson lives in is here, and also we have media sources. So right now, there's no media attached to this lesson, but I can upload any video that's either saved to my computer or to a storage drive, such as Dropbox or Google Drive. You can also upload an audio file. So don't sleep on the audio files. Sometimes your students really would love to hear a lesson over and over again, whether if they're driving in their car or doing dishes or whatever. Audio lessons can be very powerful instead of just keeping it as text. So we have our lesson content here. Next, notice the downloads area. So you can add a couple different files here and resources for them to download directly, but also know that you can create a Google Docs document for them to fill out and create make a copy link. Okay, let me show you how to do that. Okay, so for a lot of my courses, I like to start with the brand voice and messaging questionnaire or any kind of worksheet that's going to help them focus on exactly what they need to dig out of their brain and get it down onto paper. And then we can leverage these assets in other AI tools. But instead of creating a PDF where they can just download and write on it, I want to create a full workbook that can stay with them throughout the entire course. So I'll create the workbook in Google Docs and then I'll just grab a share link. Let me show you how. So in the top right corner, I'm going to click share. Then I'm going to go to general access and we're going to change anyone with a link. And the identifier or the permission level is going to be a viewer. So we're going to click done there. Next, I'm going to grab this link here at the very top, the URL. I'm going to go back into my course and I'm going to paste this link. Now I'm going to look at the URL and I'm going to start from the back and go towards the front and look for the /edit. I'm going to take everything from the slash to the end of it and delete it and just replace it with the word copy. Now, when I hit spacebar, it's now a live link that's going to lead people to a page that says, make your own copy of this file. And I can give instructions such as make your own copy of this workbook. And so now they can grab the link and make the copy. When we want to save our text or anything we change in our lesson, we must hit save so Kajabi knows we are ready to move on if necessary. Okay, so for a lesson thumbnail here, you're going to do the same thing we did with the course thumbnail is go back here. I'm going to grab, what lesson is that? I'm going to remember the name, identifying the expertise. This is in understanding your value. I think this is module 2, if I remember correctly. So I'll go down here, identifying your value. So I think we are here. I think this is step 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab page 2 image, download, current page 2. I also want to point out that I'm grabbing PNGs for higher quality images, and then I'm going to hit done and download. Again, it's going to go to my downloads where I can just click select image, upload image, and grab download from my browser downloads, hit save and upload file. Okay, great. Now I have my title, the module it lives in, any media that I want to upload, adjusting the text, adding any links I want, as well as uploading any files here. When I'm ready to publish, I'll switch it from draft to publish and hit save. All right, so let's go back to the actual outline here just by using the breadcrumb trail in the top left corner. And you can see I have one lesson and it's published. I do want to point out that if you publish the lessons, you still will not be able to see them on the student side until you publish the module as well. So let's make sure that's published. Okay, I'm going to add an image here just so I can see what that looks like. All right, perfect. Let's see how to customize this so that it looks so stunning for your students. So from the course outline, you can find the customize button. So we're going to select customize. And the first thing you're going to see is the current course theme that is applied. This is a default theme in Kajabi. It's called Premier Product. And it's one I actually prefer because you're able to see all the modules in an organized fashion as well as all the lessons. However, the only reason I would change from Premier Product theme to a different theme option is if you have a lot of lessons in one course. It can be quite overwhelming to have to scroll down through all of the lessons to find out where they are. So I want to point you to the other template, the theme templates or themes that you can install. So if I click on the themes here, you can see we have different options that exist right here in Kajabi for free. One of my favorites is Momentum. Let me preview this template just so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so in this preview, we can't see a lot, but I just want to point out a couple things. One is that you have this really nice big area for a home page. You also have this sidebar that you can add lots of other resources or additional support, any upsells that you have for other courses or maybe coaching that you have. And on the left-hand side, this is a stagnant menu, which means it's always living there. They'll be able to see the module and the name of the lesson right here. If you have a lot of content, it's nice to have this existing menu here versus having to scroll through all the pictures of the course lessons. Okay, so let's move out of here. If I wanted to install this one, I would just click it so it's highlighted in blue and then go install template. Okay, now this is my active template. If I installed any of these templates, it will not turn active until I say so. So if you install an additional template, it's going to live right here for other templates, and you can choose any of those that you've installed to be your active template. Okay, so dive in, let's click on customize in the existing template or course theme that's already here, the Premier Product, and let's see how we can make this a little fancier. First things first, I actually like to take away this header here just because I want them to focus on the name of the course and for them to get started. So what we can do is find the sections on the left-hand side. These are all the components of your course that you're looking at right now. So the header lives here, and I can just tick off or take off the show header box and hit save. Okay, it looks a little cleaner. Next thing I can do is I'm going to go back here and I'm actually going to go over to settings. In settings, this is where you can set your favicon, which is the little icon that lives in the browser. So if I just click on this, you can see we have a small icon here. It's just a square icon, dimensions 40 by 40. I'll go back here and let's go to typography. This is where you can change the font to match better with your brand. So for example, my base font is actually Maserati here. And then I like to use Playfair display for headers, and that is actually going to match for what I have on the thumbnail images. And let's move on. Okay, so we have the favicon and typography. That's really all you need in the first couple areas. And then we have the overall color scheme. So if we want to change any of the colors that we previously set in the setup, that's where we can do it. Okay, let's go back to sections here. So just to point out these areas, this first one is the hero section. So if I wanted a background image, I can place it in this area. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one of my recent background images, and let's grab just a plain one here. I'm going to select that. And notice that when it uploads here, I still can't see it. And the reason being is that there's a current overlay color there. So I don't want to get rid of that overlay color because it goes nicely with the rest of the branding. What I would like to do is just take down the opacity here. So now we can actually see the picture behind it, but let's make sure it's strong enough that the wording is still present. Okay, maybe something around there, right? All right, so we're going to click save there. I'll go back out of the header. Let's go to the search bar. That one's pretty simple. We don't really have to touch much about that. And let's go into the welcome body. So if I wanted to add a welcome component before the course content even starts, this is where I would do it. You come into the welcome body, click show welcome body, and then anything that I add is going to be put in this section. So if I wanted to hello video, a welcome video, I could upload a video here. I could also change the product information that's shown right here. Okay, so that's the welcome body. It's just a square above your course content or course curriculum before it starts to display. All right, so your product syllabus is all of your course curriculum. It's like a syllabus. So it's going to show here. If you didn't want to show all of your modules and all of your lessons, then you would just remove the check mark from show syllabus and it won't show your content, which means their only way to continue, to start and continue, is this button here, and it will just pick up the way it started. I wouldn't recommend that. People like to go backward and forward and rewatch different videos. So also to show that you can turn on a community widget, which means if you have a Kajabi community, you can actually turn on a little widget that will show on the right-hand side where people can comment directly from this course in the community and also read feedback from this chat thread that is directly associated with this course. Really cool. All right, last thing I want to show you here is the footer. So it's going to bring you down to the very bottom. This is where you can do some customization. If you want to keep it really simple, then you can actually just turn off the footer completely. So no worries about that. If you do want to keep it on though and show your copyright, make sure to change this to your actual company name. You can update the logo here. You can also change the menu here if you need to, and you can take off social icons or add social icons. If you give instruction for people to make sure they connect with you via social, then of course keep those icons there. Okay, and that's all there is to it when it comes to customizing your course interface. So now we have set up the course outline, have uploaded our course content, and customized the interface or the course theme. Let's see what this looks like. So whenever you're working on your course, you can find this icon in the top right corner. That's your preview. So let's see what this looks like. Okay, and so I've only published one module and one lesson, so that's all we're seeing here. So just a note there for what you're going to be able to see is what is published, same for your students, and this is what it's looking like. It is looking incredibly elevated, which I'm loving. Let me go back here and we're going to go to outline. I want to show you one more thing when it comes to making sure your course is fully prepared before any student jumps in. That's just not the case, okay? So you can actually get started with preparing your course and selling it before it's completely done, especially if this is the first time you're launching and maybe you have some founding members or you're doing a beta launch at a lower price in order to get some feedback and adjust the content as you go. So when someone purchases, you can set up this course to have a dripped out schedule. This means that when they first come in the course, maybe they only have access to this first module and the rest of the modules are going to be dripped out maybe on a weekly basis. So using this drop-down menu for draft, instead of making it publish, you're gonna select drip. And so drip just means it's going to be available based on the cadence that you set. So you can set drip days after enrollment. So we're gonna say 7 days after enrollment, they have access to module 2. I'm gonna continue this with module 3 by saying 14 days after enrollment, they have access to module 3, and same thing for the final module here. We will say 21 days after enrollment, they have access. Okay, so that tells us that when they first get in here, of course, they're gonna be able to dive right in, but based on the content that's coming out, maybe there's a lot of actions that they should be completed before moving on. This also gives you time to work on additional course content while still selling it right up front. So if you are thinking, okay, Nicole, I have this beautiful course completely built out, it's ready for people to buy, then you're probably thinking, where do I send people to buy it? So make sure you're subscribed to my channel because the next video that's coming out is how to set up my sales page and the offer so you can launch this bad boy. All right, so I will see you in the next video. If you have any questions, link them down below. And more importantly, tell me what course you are going to launch this week now that you have a step-by-step guide to do so. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.